Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you, all student friends, respected faculty, and all the eminent speakers. It's my pleasure to be here. I will tell you a little about myself as to how I got into what I am doing today. Um, till about 4 years back, I was in service. I was associated with aviation industry. I started my career as an engineer. My first job was at HAL Bangalore. This was more like a trainee. I was in the engine division in HAL Bangalore. And I'm also pleased to tell you that after that stint, for a few months, I came to HIIT and I taught there as well. So I was a small, like a part-time instructor. And so I have some very fond memories of HIIT. They were those tough days. I used to go to college on a bicycle and so on. So coming back from there, then I moved into the airline industry. And I don't know, again, you may or may not know about an airline called the Mania Airways. That was amongst the first few airlines which started in India. The Modilo, Jet Airways, the Mania, East West. That was a era where a lot of privatization in airlines happened. Um, so I got into the airline industry, and then thereafter, I kept shifting from airline to airline, and then I joined Jet Airways. I worked for Jet Airways for 10 years. And again, a very interesting part, as airport manager for Jet Airways, I was stationed in Chennai for 2 years. So this again was a great journey. As a student, I used to pass that airport on a bicycle, and then I was inside the airport as the head man. So there were some great opportunities, and I'm sure all of you as students sometimes don't see so much in the future, but it comes to you. It all happens for you. And thereafter, I joined Kingfisher Airlines. I was the head of airport services for Kingfisher. I set up many airports for them. And then I joined Delhi Airport. And I managed Delhi Airport for about 10 years. And while I was at Delhi Airport, I registered myself for a PhD program. And my topic of research was evaluating alternate taxiing solutions. I always wondered why the aircrafts go to the runway, they burn fuel, and all they do is just go from point A to point B. They are not taking off, they are not using any of the facilities the aircraft engines would have. And they are burning this fuel. And we all talk about carbon, we talk about noise, we talk about safety. So, my topic of research was evaluating alternate taxiing solutions. What existed in the world, what would exist in future, and that's how I got so motivated post somewhere close to my PhD got awarded later, but I got very motivated and I quit my job and we started this company called TaxiBot India was the brand. We called it KSU Aviation. I'm a founder director of that company. And today we provide this service to aircrafts in Delhi and Bangalore. And very soon we would be doing it in all the metro airports in India. With this, I will come on to what I'm doing now. And this will help you all to understand a little bit of technology. I will try and be as brief as possible. I have two videos which will, speak for themselves. And thereafter, we don't have a question answer session, but you can always meet me off the session and I'll be happy to tell you more about it. So going ahead, sustainable taxing. So what is this word sustainability all about? Is people confused? Is it saving carbon dioxide? Sustainability? So remember one thing, as a businessman, I definitely realize sustainability is that you live today and tomorrow. And for living means you are able to take care of your expenses for today and tomorrow. So this means for any business, sustainability means that they are going to be in business. And for business, profit is a very important part. There is nothing wrong in making profit, making money, as far as you are doing the right way. So in business, very important is your cost, very important is your cost saving, very important is profitability. So for me, sustainability means it should be cost effective and it should be environmental friendly. And not just talk about green and CO2, but it should also mean basic business sense. So today in the airport environment, you have three big challenges. One big challenge is the fuel cost, and it just seems to be going up. And with what is happening all over the world, it doesn't seem to be ending into an area where you would say that now it is stable at this price. So fuel cost is rising. That means the cost of operations is going up. The other big issue is awareness about carbon emissions. People are becoming more aware. They feel that carbon dioxide one day is going to create a problem for all of us in future. So the awareness about carbon emissions. And the third biggest issue which happens at all the airports world over is the taxiing times are going up. And why taxiing times are going up? Aviation is growing. The infrastructure to support this aviation may not keep pace with the growth of the market. So, for example, in Chennai airport, there was one runway 30 years back, and there is one runway today. That is the main runway. They made a secondary runway, but they do not use that most part of the year. So, 30 years back, that runway existed. It exists today. I am at Delhi, and at Delhi, one of the main runways which is there in Delhi was built in World War II times. That was an Air Force station. It still exists today. So if that infrastructure is going to be 40 years old, and we all know that in 40 years aviation has grown so much, taxiing times will grow up all over. And this is not just India. I travel all over the world. I consult to airports on taxiing issues, how to implement taxi botting there. And while I could go ahead, we are the only country in the world, and we are the only company in the world which performs taxi botting. So there is nobody else, and everybody else is learning from us. And I'm really proud to say, people say India is, far behind and all that. I am a consultant and I'm a on-board member of the Eurocontrol, which does what is called as the ATC of Europe, and we are trying to help them do taxi botting in Europe, what they need to do, how to adapt. So I'm really pleased to tell you that what we are doing here in India is very soon going to be ringing bells all over the world. So having said that, I'll quickly move on. So what exists today in the market? When I talk about what exists, there are 4 or 5 different methods which exist to move the aircraft without engine power. And there are on-ground solutions and on-board solutions. When I talk about on-board solutions, these on-board solutions are all in the making. There is one which is in the nose of the aircraft. Let me see if that we'll have to stick to this. So, I had made a presentation. If you click on a certain part, it will show you what that solution looks like. But there is an electrical motor on the nose landing gear. The electrical motor will absorb the electrical current or draw the electrical current from the auxiliary power unit of the aircraft, which produces electrical current. And it will power the motor, and the torque to move the aircraft will come. This is one solution, which is called wheel tug. This is an onboard solution. It is still in the making. It is still not come. It's not certified. It adds weight. So onboard solutions will add weight to the aircraft. That means what you save on ground in taxiing, you would also burn to carry that extra weight. And every kg flown in the aircraft has a cost to it. So somewhere you have to do an analysis. How much do you save on ground and how much do you burn in the air? And minus the two, do you still save something? And let me tell you, at today's fuel cost, you still save. There is another solution. On the main landing gear, you put the electrical motor, which is called EGTS, Electric Green Taxiing Solution, done by a company called Safran. They do a lot of engines, landing gears. So they are into aviation in a big way. So this is another solution, but it is yet to come, may take another 8, 10 years, may take 4, 5 years, but they are all in the making. It's not right for me to comment that they will be 5 years or 2 years. Any researcher, any company will say, I'm coming tomorrow. Sign up with me. So they are still not there. And when I started my research, this was somewhere in year 2011 or 12. And at that time, they were saying we are coming next year. And now, so I speak to their CEOs and all, and they still tell me they're coming next year. So I wish them good luck that all these solutions come. So there is one solution which is at the tail of the aircraft, which is you take the APU out and put a small turbofan engine that will give you the thrust on ground, and it will also give you the additional thrust for takeoff, so you're not overloading your engines. That's also a concept. And that concept is by an Indian who lives in US. So while my research was on, I stayed with him in US. He lives in California and he has this concept, and this needs to go on. So there are various solutions, and TaxiBot is the only certified solution in the world. So what is this taxi botting and what is this sustainable taxiing? It basically means that you move the aircraft without the engine powered close to the runway. As you can see, there is a red line, there is a green line. After the pushback of the aircraft, the engines of the aircraft get started, and then it moves to the runway and takes off. So the red line depicts the journey of the aircraft with the engines on, and the green line depicts the journey of the aircraft without the engines. And this is what is our business, this green line. The longer it is, the more money we make and the more savings we bring to the airline. So having said that, we are the first in India. So the first Airbus aircrafts, the narrow body aircrafts which were done for taxi botting were